love challenges. I love to solve and find solutions to problems. It is probably why I love puzzles. I crave adventure and excitement. And so when I think of why I teach, it is because for me, it is a way that I can change the world. It is a puzzle for me that is always changing with multiple paths and avenues that take me on the most fascinating of adventures. I love to learn and consider myself a professional student. Sharing my enthusiasm and passion for learning with others has become my professional mission. And what better way to do so than with science? One of the magical parts of being a parent is getting to watch your children experience and make sense of the world. As a science teacher, I get to witness this daily. Exploring the mysteries that surround us, guiding students to ask the right questions, and then giving them the tools they need to answer their questions. This is how I make science come alive in my classroom. This is how I share the adventure of learning with my students. It is where my preparation and practice become an art. It is the pedagogy of my profession. My journey to be an educator and my time spent as a teacher has allowed for many opportunities and chances for me to grow, both personally and professionally, both in and out of the classroom. I tell my students that we are all only as strong as the people we surround ourselves with. And I believe more than ever that this is true for myself as a high school science teacher. As an undergraduate at the University of Northern Iowa, I surrounded myself with professionals across the disciplines, many of which I continue to collaborate with, and in doing so, have been able to gain numerous resources and experiences, all of which find their way into my classroom daily. As an undergraduate, I had the chance to work with Dr. Jeff Weld in a study that looked at the alignment of secondary and collegiate learner goals in science, an experience that would prove invaluable as I prepared to enter the teaching profession as a high school science teacher. This study has since been published. As a teacher, I've had the opportunity to conduct summer research alongside Dr. Carl Thurman in the Bahamas as a part of the RAISE program, research that also recently led to a publication. Using this experience as a springboard, I received a local grant to travel to the Galapagos, a once-in-a-lifetime adventure that has forever changed how I teach biology. And it has. My current thesis as a graduate student at the University of Northern Iowa involves the investigation of barriers that high school science teachers face when teaching evolution in the classroom. My hope is that this research will not only serve as a resource as we continue to prepare the next generation of teachers, but also provide us with insight to create tools and resources for teachers in classrooms today. This last summer, I had the pleasure of being a part of the externship program, part of the Iowa Math and Science Education Partnership, a wonderful collaboration to build relationships with local corporations in your community. I continue to meet with local foundations and corporations to speak to the success of this program. Also, I currently play an active role as a part of the committee for the Iowa Science Teacher Section, allowing me to continue to grow, learn, and stay connected to many other amazing educational professionals from across the state. Teaching is a fascinating adventure, and I will continue to do my part to change the world and the role that I play as a classroom educator through workshops and professional opportunities, community collaborations, and personal research, giving my students opportunities and experiences that I hope will spark something within them that will allow them to internalize the magic that is learning, discovering their skills and passions, taking them beyond high school graduation into a life that will allow for adventures and opportunities as I have had. The 2010-2011 school year for the Muscatine Community School District has been one of change, offering students a unique, one-of-a-kind educational experience unlike anything most public schools have seen. Coined G-squared, or Global Generation, it is an educational system that has been developed to embrace the changes occurring in the 21st century by balancing traditional standards and skills with rapidly developing technology and global networking, providing students an enriched curriculum to better prepare them for rigorous post-secondary options, as well as the tools needed to excel in a highly global, interconnected society, one that demands critical thinking and advanced communication skills. Global Generation accommodates students of multiple levels who desire challenge and rigor to best prepare them for post-secondary education. Traditionally, classes have been compartmentalized, limiting connections from one discipline to the next. Even great educators can be restricted, confined by constraints of time and a set curriculum that does not allow for collaboration with other teachers across the disciplines. In G-squared, student schedules are blocked, allowing me the flexibility to teach transdisciplinary lessons with other core area teachers, a refreshing challenge that allows for me to take my classroom instruction to a whole new level. Now I get to work with an English teacher when teaching a formal lab write-up, or a history teacher when introducing students to trends in science. And the marriage between math and science has never been more apparent. Co-teaching with a math teacher allows for one of us to direct the content and the other to focus on the skills. Therefore, each teacher is better able to home in on his or her area of expertise during class projects, perpetuating rigor and creating real-world relevance in the classroom. Teaching in a project-based system does not mean that I do not give quizzes, lectures, class notes, or teach traditional labs. Inquiry-based labs remain a cornerstone of my classroom. What teaching in a project-based system does mean is that I must take my curriculum beyond the traditional labs and classroom investigations.
All of this stuff right here, that's the DNA. I start on one side and I try to glue it up and then try to bring it up.
Oh no. Focus
Now
too
what?
far.
Keep doing it.
Alright, I don't know, let's see. Can you get it all out?
So that's all DNA.
In a digitally connected, networked world, students, with the click of a few buttons, can look up the answer to many traditional science classroom labs. If you can find the answer online, there is no room for critical thinking. Classroom projects designed to ask open-ended questions promote critical thinking and allow the learner to assimilate or accommodate information in a way significant to them. Providing a stage or platform for students to display their work is often one of the most challenging tasks for educators. For years, I have documented my classroom investigations and activities, serving not only as a way for me to reflect on my own teaching, but also as a way to demonstrate to others my students' achievements, learnings, and projects. Muscatine is not a one-to-one school when it comes to technology. However, using what we have, the Global Generation Program has provided a web-based digital portfolio for each student to document and showcase their work. When technology is used in a project-based environment, it becomes a tool for expression and authentic application. When students display their work online, their audience expands from the classroom community to the global community. This most recently manifested itself when a New York Times reporter contacted me to interview some of my students regarding blogs that the reporter had come across online, blogs that have been written over Darwin Day events that my students helped to host. In addition, work stored on my students' digital portfolios may later be used to supplement resumes and college applications to highlight student work and display their progressive use of technology. Another platform that is provided for my students to display their projects, happening twice a year, are our community exhibition nights, where friends, families, local businesses, and corporations are all invited to see the products and projects that students have been working on. Finally, as a teacher, I am always trying to incorporate ways for both myself and my students to grow as a team. This is accomplished through peer critiques of work, reflections, whether after a field trip, class project, or guest speakers, and team building events, all of which help my students to not only recognize each other's strengths better in group or project activities, but also the overall classroom culture and climate, providing a solid foundation for authentic learning and innovation to take place.